Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama.
Thank you, Columbus.
O-H.
That's very cool. We love you guys too. This is beautiful. It really is. First, we got to let this man speak. And my job is to introduce him, but I want to first start by thanking your great governor, Ted Strickland, for that very kind introduction. But I want to thank a few more people as well. Your Lieutenant Governor Lee Fisher, your Mayor Michael Coleman, Senator John Glenn, and of course, one of my favorite performers in the whole wide world, John Legend. Let's give them all a round of applause. Let me tell you how thrilled I am to be here tonight with all of you. First of all, this is something that I don't do very often. In fact, oh, you're so sweet. In fact, I haven't really been on the trail since a little campaign you might remember a couple of years ago. And believe it or not, as Ted Strickland said, the last time Barack and I campaigned together was 2 days before that little election, and we were right here in Ohio. But the truth is, as a self-described mom-in-chief, truly my first priority has been making sure that our girls are happy and healthy and adjusting to their very interesting new life in the White House. But I think in that respect, I am like every parent that I know. My children are the center of my world. And my hopes for their future are at the heart of every single thing that I do. And when I think about the issues facing our nation right now, I think about what that means for our girls, and I think about what that means for the world that we're leaving for them and, quite frankly, for all of our children. I think about whether or not we're leaving the next generation, and that would be many of your generation, folks, whether we're leaving something better. And that's really how I look at things. And the truth is, I'm here because that's how Ted Strickland looks at things, and that's how my husband looks at things. Because this is a serious moment for our country. There is so much at stake. And tonight, this is about more than just politics. It's about whether or not we as a people can move forward through times of challenge and cynicism and frustration and use the opportunity we've been given to build better communities and to build a better country. That's why Barack has fought the battles he's fought over the past 2 years, and we've got so much more to do. There's no doubt about that. But already we have seen some important victories that have made a real and positive impact on the lives of children and families all across this country. Today, more of our families are in control of their own health care. Today, more of our students are receiving the financial aid they need to earn a college education. Today, more of our veterans and military families are receiving the care, the support, and the opportunity that they have earned. That is how Barack measures success. Not by daily polls or noisy chatter, but by positive change that touches people's lives. Now, that's why he ran for president in the first place, because he knows that his life, like mine, is only possible because of the American dream. And keeping that dream alive and within reach for all Americans, believe me, is what drives him every single day. That is why he works hard. That's why he stays up at night. And I believe that that's why folks like all of you across this country joined our campaign 2 years ago. That's why many of you, remember, you made those calls. You knocked on those doors in the freezing snow and the blazing sun. Remember that? And I believe that that's why we're all here today. We're here to restore that dream for all of our people. That is the change we're fighting for. That's what's at stake. That has been the change Barack has fought for so many years. As a young community organizer, trying to bring jobs and hope to struggling neighborhoods on the south side of Chicago, it's what he fought for in the Illinois State Senate and in the U.S. Senate, South Side. It is what he talked about all those months on the campaign trail. It's the change he's been fighting for every single day in the White House, and that he's going to keep fighting for every single day in the White House. So tell me something, Ohio. If you are still as fired up and ready to go as you were 2 years ago, then I know that we can keep bringing about the change that I know, that we all know. We can keep that American dream alive. So I'm going to ask you something. Can we do this? Yes, we can. Can we do this? Yes, we can. Are you fired up and ready to go? Yes. Then it is my honor to introduce to you my husband, the President of the United States, Barack Obama.
OH! 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 Oh, what do you think about Michelle Obama? She's kind of cute, isn't she? Yes, indeed. It is good to be back in Columbus. Thank you so much. I am so proud to be here with Governor Ted Strickland, one of the finest governors in this country, Lieutenant Governor Lee Fisher, Yvette McGee-Brown, Michael Coleman, an outstanding congressional delegation, Mary Jo Kilroy, Tim Ryan, Marcia Fudge, John Bocherry, outstanding former Senator and astronaut, John Glenn, the Central State University drumline in the House, and my friend John Legend, and about 35,000 of my closest friends. It is good to be here with all of you Buckeyes. Now, let me just say, I am sorry about last night. But one thing I know about Buckeyes is y'all don't quit. You get up, you keep fighting, you keep believing. And that's what we need from you right now. We need you fired up. Because in a little more than 2 weeks, you can set the direction of this state and the direction of this country for not just the next 2 years, but the next 5 years, the next 10 years, the next 20 years. Just like you did in 2008, you can defy the conventional wisdom, the kind that says you can't overcome the cynicism of our politics. You can't overcome the special interest and the big money. You can't elect a skinny guy with a funny name, Barack Obama. You can't tackle our biggest challenges. Everybody said, no, you can't. And in 2008, you showed them, yes, we can. So in 2 weeks, you've got the chance to say once again, yes, we can. Now, look, let's be honest. This is a difficult election. This is hard. And it's hard because we've been through an incredibly difficult time as a nation. We've gone through a tougher time than any time in the lifetimes of most of you. Think about it. For most of the last decade, middle-class families saw their costs rise from everything from health care to college tuition, while their incomes fell. Between 2001 and 2009, the incomes of middle-class families fell by an average of 5%. Job growth was the most sluggish it had been since World War II. A lot of jobs moved overseas, especially here in Ohio. There were too many parents who couldn't afford to send their kids to college. Too many people who couldn't afford to see a doctor when they got sick. Americans working 2 jobs and 3 jobs just to make ends meet. And then all these problems were compounded with the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. And I think sometimes we forget how scary it was, the magnitude of this crisis. We lost 4 million jobs in the 6 months before I was sworn in. 750,000 the month I was sworn in, 600,000 the month after that, 600,000 more the month after that. We lost 8 million jobs during the course of this recession. A once-in-a-generation challenge. And when I was sworn in, it was my profound hope, and I know it was the hope of many of you, not just Democrats, but Republicans. It was the hope of so many people that it would cause both parties to put politics aside for a moment for the sake of the country. The notion was that we could move beyond the division and the bickering and the game playing that had dominated Washington for so long. Because although so many of us are proud to be Democrats, we are prouder to be Americans. We are prouder to be Americans. But the Republican leaders in Washington made a different decision. They made a tactical decision. Their basic theory was that we had gone into such a deep hole. The economy was so badly damaged. They knew it was going to take time for us to repair the economy. They knew it was going to take longer than anybody would like. And they knew the people would be frustrated, and they'd be angry. And some of the enthusiasm that we had seen in the 2008 election would start to dissipate as people looked at their friends losing jobs and their small businesses having to close their doors. And they figured if they just sat on the sidelines long enough, and if they opposed everything that we did, if they said no, even to policies that traditionally they had supported, then they figured that they could ride people's anger and frustration all the way to success in the next election. That was their working theory. In other words, they were basically counting on you forgetting who caused the mess in the first place. And now